Hello traders, hello investors, how are you doing today my friends? Welcome to another video here in the Finance Hydra channel, and let's analyze how Palantir is doing right now today. It reported earnings and it is dropping more than 11% so far. So we have some key points to update in this analysis. I hope this video is going to be very helpful to you guys. So remember to click on the like button to support this channel, and if you are new around here, and there's a good chance you are new around here, remember to subscribe. We already beat 1,000 subscribers. I think we can grow even more. Our community is a pretty good community, so please, my friend, you are more than welcome to join us. Now, let's start our analysis. When we analyze Palantir in the weekly chart, in my humble opinion, I think it deserves to drop a little bit more, at least to retest the 1153, which is this purple line down here, which was this previous top on September 28th week, the IPO week. So I think that would be quite symbolic and interesting price level to work with, but there is nothing indicating to us that Palantir can actually retest this price level, especially if we look in the weekly chart. In the weekly chart, we see some stabilization. Okay, and this is good. This is good, but this is not a buy sign per se. It's not necessarily an amazing buy sign for us, because Palantir did stabilize itself over here from December 6th to January 5, almost 1 month, and then it lost the support levels and it continued the drop. What is the real problem with Palantir? It has been dropping very, very sharply. But guys, remember, Palantir is dropping since November, since the beginning of November. But this movement is not exclusive on Palantir. We can see many other stocks that did a top in November, like Tesla, for instance. And Tesla has yet to recover, although it is struggling a lot. It has yet to recover to November's high. I believe Amazon topped in November as well. Nvidia also did a top in November, and so far it is in a bear trend. Microsoft also did a top over here in November. So guys, this movement, it is not because Palantir has problems. The company has its problems. Yes, it has its challenges for sure. Everybody knows that. But so far, I think most of this movement was priced along with the market's sentiment. It is because of many bad catalysts involving inflation, interest rates, right now maybe even Ukraine stuff. So we see many bad catalysts on tech stocks, and Palantir is getting affected by that. It is not necessarily because the company is gonna fail, because I hardly believe that's going to happen. It is a debt-free company after all, so it is doing just fine. It missed earnings, but its revenues were above the expectations, which is a very good sign, because so far I think Palantir should focus on having more revenue, on having more market share, increasing its addressable market. So, alright, I think Palantir is doing a good job so far. And this drop, although this drop seems to be quite problematic, it is 11%. I don't believe it is something surprising, because even in a very stressful scenario like this, Palantir is doing what technical analysis says it would do. It is dropping, retesting the previous support level at this black line down here, and this is it. It is stabilizing in the daily chart. This, my friends, is called doji candlestick pattern. Let me highlight that for you. This candlestick pattern down here, it is a classic doji. And what you guys have to understand is that every single doji is at the same time a possible bullish pivot point in smaller time frames. When we look at the 1 hour chart, we can barely see that. However, if we look at, let me just change this. Excuse me, my friends. Remember, these videos are almost a live video. Okay, I don't have any script. But when we analyze in the 15-minute chart, see, this is what I'm talking about. We have a bottom, a top, a bottom higher than the previous bottom, and we are trying to do another top. We have a sequence of possible bullish pivot points. If this continue to happen on Palantir, it has very good and decent chances of reversing the trend, at least to fill this gap up here, okay? To fill the monster earnings gap. Let's highlight this gap for us over here. It has decent chances of filling this gap. However, if Palantir is going to reverse the trend in the daily chart, we don't know that yet. All we know is that it is near support levels, and as far as I know, guys, always buy near support levels. Why? Because the risk-reward ratio makes more sense near. I mean, let's just pretend you are out of Palantir. You are an institutional investor, you have to do something, you are, I don't know, a hedge fund manager, and you look at Palantir. What do you see over here? Do you see an opportunity to sell? I mean, the opportunity to sell was here around $29. Anything less than that, it doesn't make any sense to me. Right now, it dropped from almost the 30s to $12, and it is doing a multiple bottom chart pattern in the daily chart after the volatility thanks to earnings report. And it is doing doji, and it is trying to trigger bullish structures all around the 15-minute chart. So you see this, I think it makes sense to buy if it breaks today's high, for instance, and just set a stop loss under today's low. And even if you're aiming the previous resistance, even if you don't believe that Palantir is going to fly and it's going to retest the $45 again, no, you don't believe in that. You still believe it is a bad company, okay? Let's assume that. If you're aiming for the next resistance at least $14, the risk-reward ratio is 1.96. The reward is 1.96 times bigger than your potential risk. So, okay, so this makes sense to me. This is how we must think in this market. We always have to think like the smart money thinks. And please, my dear friends, let's always try to buy near supports, not resistances. Now, if you want to beat the market along with me and along with my community, remember to subscribe to our incredible newsletter. Look at this. Look at our profitability. Our profitability is public. You may check this public document over here, clicking in this red ball. Read more. See this document over here. It is our profitability. In the past 52 weeks, we have been performing almost 80%, while the S&P is performing only 17%. Did you know less than 5% of the traders can actually beat the S&P? I mean, a very small amount of traders can actually be profitable, but an even smaller amount of traders can outperform the indices. You can check our trading log in this document over here. Every single one of our trades, we are doing amazingly well. So this is public data. Of course, this week's picks are a secret just to our subscribers, okay? So, but my profitability is totally public, so you guys can see how we are performing. My dear friends, now a final message on Palantir. Remember, it is dropping, but since it is near support level, okay, it is interesting. And there is one more thing. There is the possibility, you might say that, I'm not gonna disagree with you, but there is a possibility that this is an incredible bearish flag. Yes, there is. So, what could make our bullish thesis totally backfire? Again, if it loses this black line, this support level. If this happens, our next support level is this purple line, but I think the momentum will be strong enough for us to see it losing the $11 line. So let's pay attention to 11.93. That's our main support level in the short term. And let's pay attention to our resistance at 14.37, because if Palantir breaks this point, by any chance, let's say it's gonna break it, I think the 17th is our next target, because it was a previous support level on May 2021. So technically speaking, it has good chances of working as a resistance. So let's pay attention on these three key points: 14.37, 11.93, 17.13. Okay, my dear friends, thank you very much for your support, for your attention. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye, stay safe, farewell.